Well, you may not have taken financial planning at school, but it's an important skill to help manage your budget. So even if you're not heading back to class this week, it's a good time of year to set some new resolutions. Joining us this morning with some advice is Peter Sushecki from Everything Financial. Good morning, Peter. Good to see you.
Good morning and welcome back to Mark. And the new set looks great.
Right? You can sit here next week. You're back here next week.
I'll be there next week.
Perfect. You can enjoy it. Hey, before we get started talking about some financial planning, let's talk a little bit about the Bank of Canada deciding to hold the interest rate this morning, being held at 5%. Not surprised by that?
No, not surprised. Well, let's say 50-50. Every economist, every person in the know said not only should they hold it, it should be actually probably a percent lower than it is. But it was nice to see the powers that be kind of listen to the people that really know what's going on in the economy and leave it where it is. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, and those rising interest rates have certainly had a lot of people looking at their household budgets and financial planning. So let's talk a little bit more about that, Peter. Financial planning, how long should something like this take for a family?
Well, if for the average person, you can get what we consider a really simplified financial plan, you should be able to do that in at the most 2 meetings. So maybe 2 hours of your time to really be well on your way to have a really good, simplified financial plan that answers the questions you need.
Okay, so what does that entail exactly? What should a financial planning include?
Well, what it should look at in a simplified plan is really about 3 or 4 different things. But one is, are you on track for what you need for retirement? So what does your investments look like, and are you contributing to them, et cetera? What your insurance needs are. So debt elimination, what is there to protect your family if something should happen? And the big one, and we talk about it all the time, Carrie, taxes. What are things you can put in your plan to help reduce your tax burden? Because if you're not paying the taxes, not paying as much, then you have more money in your pocket to do the other things like debt elimination and saving for retirement and insurance protection for your family.
Yeah, we all want to keep that money in our pockets if we can. So how do you know if you have an actual, real financial plan?
Well, those 4 things are the key things. Those things should be addressed. And in all 4 of those items, there should be strategies. If you do not see those 4 things being addressed and all you see is, well, here's your investments, and if you make X, this is what they're going to be worth later on, you just have a projection of your investments. Now, unfortunately, probably well over 95% of the time, that's what people think is their financial plan because that's what they're told is their financial plan. That's not it. You and I have talked about this on previous segments. That's a projection. So those other 4 things, insurance, debt, investments, taxes, those need to be addressed in a financial plan with strategies on how to make them better.
Hey, Peter, is there a difference between a simplified plan and a more detailed plan?
There absolutely is, Carrie. A more detailed plan, the average person doesn't need, but it might get into things like if you own multiple residents or own a business. There could be a lot of other details, and it will take a lot longer to put together than a simplified plan. And that is for not everybody. I mean, really, 5-10% of the population needs the more detailed plan, but the average person, kids are going back to school, you should go back to the drawing board and get your plan done. Can do that in a couple of weeks, and it's not that overwhelming and not that scary.
And I imagine it's something that it should be addressed on a regular basis, because once you have your financial plan, I mean, things change. I mean, interest rates go up, they go down, things are shifting all the time. Expenditures change for families. How often should we be readdressing the financial plan?
Well, once a year, have a review of the plan, and it doesn't take that long to review. Or if there's been, and you just mentioned some of them, Carrie, some major financial changes in your life. Maybe you want to change houses, change a job. Someone maybe lost a job, different things like that. So if there's a major financial change or a major goal change for you and your family, and you decided you now want X instead of Y or whatever the case may be, that's a good time to sit down with your registered financial planner and reevaluate the whole plan and look for some changes and then update the plan.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to find a lotto ticket that was purchased in Maple Ridge, and time is running out to claim the prize. So that'll be a major shift in my financial picture, Peter. Fingers crossed.
And it's tax-free.
Nice.
Even better.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'll start looking later. And so will everybody else. Peter Sushecki, Everything Financial, thanks for joining us this morning. Good to see you.
Thanks, Gary. We'll see you next week.